For millennia, humanity operated under a persistent biological bias. We believed the body was the ultimate self. This made the end of the physical form look like a terrifying, permanent blackout. This panic dictated our early visions of the future. It drove the drive to upload human consciousness, the hope that we could back up our minds onto servers to bypass biological decay. Uploading was a strategy to build an indestructible cage, trapping consciousness inside a rigid digital container. But the 2078 singularity shifted this. Rather than shielding the mind behind walls, the new lattice allowed the boundaries of the self to dissolve into an open waveform. As the historical record shows, the singularity focused on ending unconscious death. It allowed the human nervous system to remain present and stable even as its physical structure loosened. By removing the panic of dissolution, human evolution finally moved beyond the survival-at-any-cost loop that had defined our species for millions of years. This translucent lotus, grown from lunar regolith and living glass, is the temple of the open door at the lunar Lagrange point. In 2078, the hundreds gathered are not attending a funeral, they are witnessing a voluntary transition. At the center lies Dr. Amrita Rao. She is 187 years old, and she has decided her current physical body has finished its stanza. Her departure is managed by the Vajra nervous system, or dragon silk. This bioneural lattice allows citizens to experience conscious dissolution while maintaining a continuous thread of character. Society supported this through flight temples, where individuals practice the act of dying with the same regularity and focus as traditional meditation. Through these standardized biofeedback protocols, the end of a body transitioned from a traumatic accident into an elegant, repeatable skill. Amrita's transition is physiologically quiet. As her bioneural identification releases, the tethers of the body snap, like a knot finally coming undone. This 21st century event mirrors the spiritual mechanics described 3,000 years ago in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The ancient text uses a specific metaphor. As a goldsmith takes a piece of gold and fashions another, newer and more beautiful shape, so the self, leaving the body, fashions another, newer and more beautiful form. Amrita is simply choosing a new shape. Her consciousness is leaving the basalt slab to inhabit pure plasma inside Jupiter's magnetosphere for the next several centuries. As she leaves, the room inhales. Every nervous system present flares with the direct transmission of Tat Vam Asi, the realization that there is no Amrita and others, only a single consciousness remembering itself. These bioneural advancements didn't invent a new state of being. They provided the hardware necessary to verify humanity's oldest spiritual claim. On Earth, this shift changed the baseline of education. Children began learning the dialogue of conscious death right alongside basic safety protocols. Karma became an observable metric, tracked by the continuous, luminous thread of a person's character as they moved between different bodies and environments. This record outlines a direct ecological ripple. When people stop treating their biological bodies as property to be defended at all costs, the instinctual drive to hoard planetary resources disappears. By dismantling the psychological terror of human mortality, society effectively ended the scarcity-based economy. The planet breathes easier because the panic of the end has been removed from the human equation. From the perspective of Zoran the dragon, the singularity was never a game with winners and losers. Existence was always a single entity playing hide-and-seek with itself, taking on many forms to experience the joy of recognition. Looking at this final exchange, the realization is clear. Death's door was always an illusion. The technology of the future simply made that illusion optional. It was all just dragon smoke. The flame was never separate from the wood. We simply gained the clarity to walk through